Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture. Hold on, y'all. Let me make sure because sometimes it doesn't click to the right sound. All right. Oh, let's see. Y'all, we down to the bare minimums over here today with the we're just going live via YouTube. So y'all bear with me. You're not going to see any good scrollings or anything like that. We are definitely just doing bare minimum over here with the YouTube. So I wanted to go over today. Listen, let me finish this post really quick. I just want to let my entertainers know that I just received a copy of the Justin Baldoni amended complaint. After this stream, I'm going to go over it, and we are going to talk about it. Okay. But that's not what we're here for today. We are here for an update on day 5 of the asaprocky shooting trial. Now, as you note, ASAP Relly, aka ASAP Relly, aka CSI Relly, aka prosecution Relly, aka defense attorney Relly, aka paralegal Relly, aka IT specialist Relly. I mean, he's got more. He has more roles than I can figure out. AKA management, really, AKA equity manager, really, AKA as someone in Cat's live said, booty equity, really, AKA. He's got a lot of AKAs, and he's been on that stand, and y'all, it is. There's just some people who are just not great witnesses. And he is one of those people that's just not a great witness. Now, he refuses take to follow certain orders. So in other words, when we want ASAP Relly to say what he needs to say, he won't say it. He can't recall. When we don't need ASAP Relly to say anything, baby, he goes into a soliloquy about all this other stuff, and the judge has to admonish him. Listen, you're being unresponsive. You need to answer the questions the way I asked you to answer the questions. Okay. So I'm not going in any chronological order. Okay. I'm just kind of going over what stood out to me. There's some things that I was confused about. I was confused in the beginning as to the defense. They were asking all of these questions, and I was confused as to why that they were asking the questions. And it hit me probably a couple hours after I sat down and marinated with it, because they were trying to show, or to try to put in the jury's mind, that CSI Relly is not to be trusted, because there are several instances to where CSI Relly could have possibly planted the evidence. Because one of the things that's interesting to me, and maybe I didn't see it, because again, in the way the screen, the television that they were showing, the monitor that they were showing, you couldn't see anything, and it was so bright. I guess because all the camera lights and everything like that. I don't know. But they had it up so bright you couldn't really see. The only thing that I can remember seeing was red. And I know that that was ASAP Relly, because ASAP Relly, according to how the prosecution brought it, he had on red. Okay. But everything else I couldn't figure out. But one of the things that I think that they were trying to show, because they were trying to show that he says he went back at a certain time and he wasn't there. They saw somebody with a white shirt. At first, on direct, really said that that was him. And, then the prosecution got to stumbling and bumbling and mumbling and hollering and screaming. And pretty much, and that's another thing too that I've noticed too. The prosecution knows that Relly is not a good witness. So when they don't want him to say something, they will push up an objection. And he is smart enough to catch on and to hear what they're saying. And then he'll adjust what he has to do. And the judge has admonished both sides about spoken word objections. You object and say what you're objecting to and keep going, that he doesn't want to hear all that other stuff. But I just noticed that, if you notice that through the trial, when the prosecution doesn't want really to say something, they'll start mumbling this objection, and they'll get back, and the prosecution knows that uh I think they call him Taco online. Uh ASAP Rocky's attorney can be a little, he's New Yorker. He's bombastic. And so he will get up and stuff, and that signals ASAP really enough to know he's not going to do that. Because I don't know if you all remember when they were talking about these. I'm going to get to it, but they were talking about these this voicemail or something like that, and he's going to sit up here talking about it was fake news. Somebody, this is AI, all of this other stuff, because he's getting these. I see it. He's getting these cues from them, and he's a terrible witness, but he's smart enough at some point that when he thinks it's going to be in his favor, he's smart enough to pick it up and put it down. But let's continue. Let's continue. Let me get my notes, because I took some notes. And like I said, nothing is in any kind of chronological order. It's what stood out to me. So the prosecution, Lord. The defense. Hey y'all, I see y'all in the chat, but this is a oh, wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. Oh. Okay. I just learned something in what you call it, because y'all, I don't I have the gift of gab, but not the technical savvy behind it. How about that? But hold on just one moment here. I can't find it. I hate that. Anyway, it's not a big deal. But I just see that I can share my screen up here, so I'm excited about that. Yeah. So the defense started talking to ASAP really about his lifestyle, his luxury lifestyle, about money, how important money is to him. He tried to play it down. It's important. You need money, but it's not the most important thing. They started going over all these little different things. They started talking to him about what he buys, what he purchases. Apparently, he's supposed to have some kind of a deal in Florida, purchasing condos or doing something. So they went over all of his little deals and things like that. And I want you to keep that in mind for me, okay? They started going over the money and all this other stuff. It was a lot. It was difficult to follow. The prosecution kept butting in and talking and doing all kinds of stuff. You know, a mess. Then we get into the fact. Again, I'm not going in chronological order. I'm pulling out. You see, I pulled out what stood out to me. Then we started talking about the text messages, and you remember, as the prosecution had framed it, it was like he was there, ASAP Rally was there, he was working on with his artist, and he missed some text from ASAP Rocky, and then the text says, where you at, what you doing, let's meet, da 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 da. You remember that? And so that it gives you the impression that ASAP Rocky was the aggressor. You see what I'm saying? That he just called you, because you've overheard a conversation that ASAP Bari was on the phone with the thing. You overheard this conversation, and now out of the blue, ASAP Rocky contacts you, because again, I couldn't understand if you were on if he called your partner and he didn't know that you were there. Why would out of the blue he start texting you asking you where were you at? That didn't make any sense. And my spidey senses went up with that, and my spidey senses were correct, because what the defense was able to show is that uh, IT Relly went through there and was deleting texts. So when because he had to turn his phone in to the police, but prior to him doing that, to make it appear like things were going a certain way, IT Relly deleted some text. But what he wasn't smart enough to understand was, if you just because you delete the text on your phone, those texts are not deleted on the sender, on the recipient's phone. So they had those text messages, and those text messages show that ASAP Relly was out here antagonizing the man, talking all kinds of stuff, calling them pussies and all kinds of little stuff. So so in other words, they're back and forth, and it was to the point he was like, "Well, where you at? Do you want to meet? Drop your location." Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like you got Twitter hands, Twitter fingers, as I used to call them, and you're texting somebody, and you two are going at it, and then one person says, "You know what? I'm sick of all this talking, all this tweeting. You want to meet up? Drop your location." Now I'm starting to understand why you went to where you went. I think that the defense is trying to show that you weren't as fearful and as you tried to make it seem, because again, I could not understand, as someone who went out to fight, you went out and then you were accosted, and someone shows you a pew pew, that you're still, and then you say someone else showed you a usable kitchen appliance. You follow these people, even though you're heading the same way to get to where you got to go so that you could go home, right? You're following these people, because once they made that left, you should have kept going straight, but that's not what you did. You followed these people there. Now, as I've said before, ASAP Rocky has a heel decline, because there's video showing that he's had this pew pew, and that was made clear in the first video at the garage, where the first incident. And so, and that was a clearer video versus the video that I saw going around that corner, where all the other where the second kerfluffle happened. So now we know that there's added text messages that's not there. So now things are starting to make sense. Now, I will tell you that the prosecution at this point, baby, they are spitting and hawking and objection and talking, and the judge is upset. He's flustered. Y'all, that judge went from looking like uh y'all remember, and again, this comes to figure out how old some people are. Y'all remember the guy who played in Cocoon, who used to do the diabetes commercials? I can't think of what his name is. Is it Ed Grimley, Ed something like that? He went from looking like that man when he played into Cocoon to looking a little mild mannered man. He went, baby. He looked too flustered. He was so sick of hollering at grown men. And I mean, every time you turn around, and then again, what's so funny is Takatino. I can't think of how to say his name. And I like Taco. He's so bombastically New York. He's just like, he's walking around blustered, and he looks like one of those people that work out a lot. So his suits don't fit him clearly, or he doesn't get them tailor made for him. He's buying them off the rack, and they don't fit him because everything is so big up in here. And he's just blustering around and doing all kinds. Oh, it is hilarious. We don't get to see it all. You have to read. Shout out to I am not a lawyer, but Mel and Megan Cuniff, honey. They are in there blow by blow, telling us all the craziness that we don't get to see. And speaking of that, LA County AV department, you need to figure out how you can show a video without showing the sound. I mean, I understand that there are sidebars and stuff like that, but you need to figure out how you could do this that we could see the video, but we don't have to hear the sound. You need to figure that out. I know in Massachusetts they figured it out, and they have a very, very small courtroom as well. I am going to need for you all to figure that out because we should see something other than just an overlay of something. Let us look at ASAP Rocky squirm in the squirm in his seat or something. Let me see the prosecution go back up and down towards the judge. We need to see something. Anyway, that's my rant to the AV department. But let's continue. So I think that he well anyway, there was the text messages that we discovered that IT Relly has deleted some of his. He deleted his text messages to make it appear that in the text that ASAP Rocky was just out here trying to fight somebody or do something like that. So that's one of those little chinks that the prosecution is going to have to come back and get over with, because in my mind now, ASAP Relly is not telling the truth. ASAP Relly is not only discovering evidence, but he's tampering with it too. So he can't be praised for discovering evidence and not be admonished for tampering with evidence. And you can tell just by, if you've ever worked with young men and especially young men as they grow up, you can tell that there's certain things he wants to talk about, because watch his eyes, they'll light up. But when it's things that he doesn't want to talk about or he doesn't want you to know, because I think he's smart enough to know that this case hinges greatly on his civil case. And he seems like that type of person that loves to sue. And so he's trying to use his words carefully, or again, from the signaling from the prosecution that I see it, he's trying his best to not say or not to recall anything. But the defense was not deterred on that at all. So let's get in there. They discussed about how they made their money. He did show the deleted text, and that changed the temper as far as why you're going out there. Because now we understand that you're angry and you got a chip on your shoulder. They re-showed the video and asked whose hands or what. And then he's like, that's not me. That's ASAP Rocky. He's the one in this thing. But we still haven't heard from the other people that are there. And the thing that he is not understanding is that his words are going to be used against him. They did pull out his words from the deposition. They even pulled out his words from when he testified 2 days ago when he was under direct cross. So his words are being used against him, and now he's starting to see it. You can see his face go from this, I got you, Negro, to damn, they got me. Look, you saw his face just kind of change a little bit. But let's so they discussed, remember I talked about that they discussed the fear. They discussed, why did he follow two folks? One had a pew pew and the other one had a dangerous kitchen appliance. Why would you follow somebody like that around the corner if you knew that they were dangerous and you were running off at the mouth with these two type of people? And it went from I just had to make sure I had to talk to Rocky because it was going to be the last time I ever see him, to now y'all talking rah 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 and you walking with them. You're not following them. You're walking with them. Y'all are still supposed to be buddy buddy buddy, and now him pulling the gun out was odd. No, I'm gonna tell you how that scene in my head put down. Y'all were Twitter fingering it. ASAP Rocky was like, hey, drop your location. You were like, cool. Now, how we know that you're with the stuff? Shout out to Kat, because if you were in her chat, she played a video of ASAP Rocky and two other ASAPs along with ASAP Rocky talking about certain things. And ASAP Rocky mentioned in this video that ASAP Rocky was always the person who always appeared like he had a lot of money, meaning he was driving a Mercedes Benz when he was in high school. He had the flyest clothes, and he was doing something strange for the change. So there was some reason, something was going on as to how he was able to acquire some of those things. And ASAP Rocky made it like, hey, I'm not supposed to say that because I don't know, I don't want to get nobody in trouble. So that already let me know at that point that you was with the shits. So even if you were not, and it's sad to say, but it seems a truth. That pew pew that ASAP Rocky pulled out in the garage, that didn't deter you. You didn't care nothing about that, because I can hear you now. Don't nobody care nothing about that. You want to pop me. You bad, you pop me, and you went to following them, and you went to popping off at the mouth about all of that. All right. So then they got in. The defense was able to get in a couple of videos. One of the videos that was uh, astonishing to me is they went to his Instagram, and there was two videos on the Instagram that was there was one there was a video that they showed on the screen that I don't remember seeing on his Instagram, where he's firing a gun, and it's a 9 millimeter gun, and that's supposed to be the semi-automatic weapon that ASAP Rocky was supposed to have. But they show him on the screen, ASAP Rocky doing that. And I don't know if any of you all caught this, but there was a video that they had shown where he is going through this bag and he's pulling out like clothes and all these little different things. But in that bag that he had, I don't know what time frame was it was, but he pulled out of that bag a pew pew. Well, he didn't pull it out. He kind of brushed it over to the side. It's a blue bag. I don't know where he's at. I don't know what time that was, but there was a blue bag that he had on his Instagram where there was a 9 millimeter pew pew, which was interesting to me because everyone was trying to say, well, there'd be no way that he could get these shell casings to this place. Why not? You didn't see him for an hour. And now we're starting to understand that his girlfriend was with him, where she was back at the hotel, because people want to believe or make it like people can't get things through the airport. Now, in a carry-on bag, he probably wasn't going to be able to get shell casings through. And I'm not saying that he did this, but I'm just saying, but if he had a checked bag, if she had a checked bag, and everybody's trying to get the stuff through, if he had a checked bag, I'm quite sure that they possibly could have done it, because you could mimic a shell casing. If your girlfriend came with you, you could mimic that as a very thin bottom of a lipstick tube or a mascara tube or eye pencil tube or an eye pencil. It can sit down on it. So if you're TSA and you're looking through and you just see, oh, okay, if it looks attached to the lipstick, and I'm talking about the thin ones, or the eyeliner thing, who's going to be paying much attention to that? I mean, people have gotten a lot of other things through if your bag is going up under the plane. Excuse me. So then we talked about these text messages or this voicemail. Now he says that there was some voicemail from Wale. Now I couldn't understand if it was Wale the rapper, because they said he was in IT. So I was like, oh, Wale the rapper got him a good decent job. He's gonna be making probably more money than he would have just being a rapper. But I'm thinking it's a friend of theirs named Wally or Wale. I'm not sure if it's the rapper Wale. Uh they were not clear on that. They were not very clear or they did not qualify who Wale was. Just the fact that he had had a phone conversation with Wale, but he says that was not him. That was a fake. That wasn't him. But yet he wanted to listen to that tape. He wanted to listen to the whole thing to see what they had to say. But he wanted to listen to it, and I think that they were trying to get it in via, did you know Wally, and is this Wally's number, and is this Wally's number appearing on your phone, because they did a screenshot. Is this Wally's number, is that your number appearing on Wally's phone? He was saying like, yeah, that's my number. And then they got real convoluted, everybody was fussing and doing all kinds of stuff, so they kind of never really got back to it. But he was made to listen to something, and he was like, no, that's not me or whatever, but he wanted to listen. His whole point was he wanted to see what they had, and so he wanted to listen to the whole conversation. They didn't let us hear it, but he definitely listened to the conversation, and then he got a little pissed and started pushing the stuff away. And then you saw his mood change so drastically. So let's continue. So I did the gun casings, the shells. Okay, they were yelling and screaming because there was a point in there where they wanted to show a picture of the girlfriend, and apparently the picture that they used, she was it was not made for TV, I guess. But they said they got it off her Instagram, and Instagram only allows you to go so far with those pictures, but they didn't show us the picture. We didn't get to see the picture, but they showed a picture of that. They were going back and forth about that. It's my understanding that Takatino and the Llewellyn, whatever, they were arguing back and forth in regards to that, a lot of the evidence, and to the point they was fussing and cussing and doing all kinds of stuff. It was a whole lot of, but like I said, then the defense was through with the witness, and so now we have the redirect. Now I will tell you, I'm gonna have to do the redirect in another video, because I had to do my Justin Baldoni and my Blake Lively stuff, and I'm gonna have to do that as I hang up with you, y'all. You can tell how old I am the way I speak. I have to hang up with y'all, but that's okay. But I'm going to have to, once I get off this video, I'm going to have to go through the amended complaint and look, because my understanding is that there are some text messages from Ryan Reynolds. And so I've got to go through there, and we definitely will read off those text messages to see what's going. But I will tell you briefly that as I've looked through it, you remember how I was upset about Justin Baldoni doing a website? Well, it looks like in this filing, everything is like I like it, in a chronological order. There's a chronological order to it. So that's going to be very simple to follow. So now all of those text messages that we had that were just haphazardly thrown into the complaint, they are in a chronological order, I've noticed. So I'm definitely going to go back, and I think that would be a good review. I don't know if we're going to sit up here and read it, because that doggone thing is 300 and some 300 and some pages, 392 pages, and there's just no way in the world, and I'm being serious, no way in the world. But we'll definitely get to that section to where everything is in chronological order, so we can kind of see how things progress to the way they are now. But anyway, that's another video. Let's see who's here and go over some of y'all. I don't think I'll be able to highlight. No, you don't have the. I don't have the ability to highlight it here. All right. So hey, Kat, I see you in the chat. And y'all, Kat has gifted 5 of you all with memberships to my channel. Y'all think Kat down in here in the chat. I really do appreciate that. Let's see. So about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you all. So welcome, Lawyer B, Mr. YouTube 92, Ska, Jen Marchman, and Blue Queen TV. Welcome so much to the channel as a member. Appreciate you. Let's see. Kat says, Pam senses. Yeah. Listen, there is it's something strange. It's something strange about all of those ASAPs as I look at them because we haven't met Bari, we haven't met Ills, and we haven't met 12E. But they all seem strange to me. This collective seems strange to me. They seem strange to me, and when I have to see them. But ASAP really, he's an opportunist, and that's fine. He has a certain lifestyle that he's been used to living since he's been in high school. He's shown us that and even in that little video, we understand that he is not above doing something strange for a little change. And I'm not meaning just sexual. I mean, he's not above it. He's not above suing people. He is not above probably doing things illegally to get money. He's not above all these different things. He tries to come off like he's a thing, but that tells me he's just not above doing all those different things. And he loves to play with your emotional heartstrings because he's like, I don't want y'all on my Instagram. I don't want y'all on my baby. Are y'all trying to get me get my child public? You just we wouldn't have known you had a child had you not said anything. Trying to pull on the heartstrings of the jury, which is fine. You know, the courtrooms, prosecution and defense, it's a battle. And you need to, it's the job to be all that and to get the jury's attention however you need to get the jury's attention. I'm not mad at that at all. But I can see through that you are doing everything to make yourself as the victim because that's who he is, but you're doing everything just because someone is a victim doesn't mean that makes that person a likable pleasant person. There are people who get pew-pewed and we'll say, well, they did, but it's still the fact that they got pew-pewed. They should not have been pew-pewed. They can be unlikable, intolerable people, but that doesn't mean that you anyone has a right to take them out the timeline. You may believe it in your head that that's a justification, but it's not. And that all has to do with anybody at any time, regardless how bad and how awful some people are. At some point in time, and when I say that this, it's not necessarily it's going to be forever amen, but people all the time can be an ass on Tuesday and redeem themselves on Wednesday. So there's always points where you can be redeemable, and they can go right back to being an ass on Thursday. And even with that, with the level that people can redeem themselves at some time, this is why it's not necessary. This is why, uh, even though you can think about pruning somebody from the timeline, it's not for you to do because you don't know when someone will have a redemptive arc. You don't know. Now, the people that they've harmed have every right not to ever talk to these people or anything again. And that's then that person's responsibility to remove themselves from that person's presence as best they can. But we all have the ability to have a redemptive we all have the ability to have a redemptive arc. It doesn't mean that that redemptive arc is going to last forever. Amen. Right. It says Kat says here, yep. And that DV wheat case thing made me think he waited till April so there wouldn't be much of a paper trail back to himself. Exactly. You can tell. I mean, when they uncovered the text messages, because I don't know if you all had watched my other videos, you never could make me understand how did we get to the garage? Because what was put through from direct didn't make me understand how we got to the garage. And and I wish I know that they want to win the case, and I know that a lot of that has to do with making your victim seem as sugar plums and gumdrops as you can. But I think a lot of times we just need to get the truth of who they are, because I couldn't understand that, and I couldn't understand if you knew that these people had a things that were going to be able to prune you from the timeline. Why are you following these people? Why are you mouthing off? Why? Because at no time did he feel, in my opinion, this is Pam Entertainment TV. In my time, that he didn't feel that he didn't feel any threat, because he said it himself. He's never known Rocky to have a gun. He's never known to do anything like that, and he made it clear to talk about how people will get beat up and stuff like that. He made it clear that that type of lifestyle didn't scare him. Now, he says that the time that he felt fear, but did he feel fear? And here's the thing that I need for us to understand. Now, you are as scared as you say you are at this point. And so you grab ASAP Rails and you push him toward the you keep him in front of you. And there is some point that I think that ASAP Rocky and somebody else, because according to video, it looks like they had run, but we still see you struggling with this man, trying to keep him in front of you. Are you keeping him in front of you? Because now that the text messages are here, are you holding him to keep in front of you? Are you and ASAP Hills fighting? Could you all be fighting? Because again, now we know that there's words, and I'm just getting you all to look at the scenario different. There were words at the garage. We see the pew pew come out because we see pushing and stuff first. Then we see the pew pew come out. We see other people walking by the garage. We see him put it back in his waistband. We see them go around the corner, and it was quick. They went around that corner. We see all of you all go around that corner, because I'm saying you all are fussing back and forth. And then we see a kerfluffle at the top of the screen. So that tells me that possibly ASAP Ills and ASAP Relly are fighting. And then they try to get you to stop. And the only thing that's going to get you to stop, so he puts two off. And now all of a sudden you say, oh, well, I felt the heat. But y'all was tussling. Did you not scrape your knuckles on the ground? I'm just asking. Because again, the picture is not clear enough for us to see it. But now that we know that you will delete text messages, now that we know that you're very keen and could have had some bullet casings with you. And I'm not saying that he carried those things from New York, but there could be there could be an incident where another shooting happened in that place. But I am curious as to why he was able to go, and 3 or 4 minutes later he's able to find these casings. We don't see a video showing that he had returned. There is somebody who's in the area, but this person has on a white shirt. You said that was you at first, but now it's not you. You and your girlfriend are in some type of business, some OnlyFans, possibly some OnlyFans type business that you don't want to cop to. It's this. He has a lot, and I think that the prosecution should have laid out the type of person that this young man was, because again, you this effort to try to make him seem like he was, sugar plum and gumdrops, it didn't work at all. Oh, okay. Because again, I didn't see that. So Kat says, I think they're calling witnesses who will tell the jury Relly had friends and places in LA. Well, he had artists. He had plenty of artists there. And he was there. Oh, okay. That changes everything. That changes everything. Because again, I was preparing, so there was some things that I missed, and I will honestly say that I've got to go back. But yeah, there's no way that you're not gonna make me think. Because again, he was on the phone trying to call or talk to a lawyer. There's no way to make me think that there wasn't a way that he could get those bullets. If I was a juror, I would definitely need to hear exactly L. Is it Ellie the second or Lel? But exactly, I can't wait to hear from ASAP Ills. I can't wait to hear from ASAP 12E. I can't wait to hear from if ASAP was it Bari. I can't wait to hear if they're coming to court because I really would love to hear their version of the story. All right, people. Yeah. And why not bullets? Just the casings. Yeah. Because well, it's going to be up to the defense because my question is, was it known that ASAP Rocky carried a prop gun in his inner circle? That's the question that's going to have to that's going to have to. He's go to my community page because I do have a new poll up about if you think that ASAP Rocky is guilty or if you think he's innocent. If we break it down right now, it hasn't changed the fact that they've shown that he had the pew pew. They've had a witness on the seventh floor that said that she saw she heard shots, but she was indulging in the herb as she said. So you can't take everything that she says for granted for everything because she was real relaxed. But I don't doubt that what she's independent. She doesn't have a reason to lie. Was there a gun there and did it go off? Yes. So if you just looked at that, I would say, they got an upward here decline. If I was a jury, I was like, okay, well, he met this qualification. He had the gun. Now I've got to figure out if he did it in self-defense or not. Because again, I think that ASAP Ills, I think his testimony is going to be crucial as to see, because if they put it to the fact that they were trying to get rid of or get away from ASAP Relly, and he kept coming and he kept coming, and the only thing that was going to keep ASAP Relly from continue to come was the pop off 2 or 3, then I don't think he would be. If they could frame it that way, if they could get it, if they can get them to see that he was the aggressor, he kept coming. If they could get them to see that he's known to keep pew pews and weapons, and that he has friends out here in LA that would get him stuff as he asked for it. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Thank you all for joining me this morning. I really do appreciate it because I'm up early. I was streaming all night last night because once you get to talking about Black Panther and the recast T'Challa movement and all that other stuff, I'm there for a good time for stuff like that. So I've been online yesterday probably up until midnight my time, Central Standard Time, a little past midnight Central Standard Time. So I've been up, and then I got up this morning because I realized I told y'all 11 o'clock. I meant to say 1 o'clock. I meant to say 1 o'clock, but I didn't. Again, I'm changing streaming companies, so I've got to figure out which one is easier because StreamYard was the easiest. So now I got to figure out which one is easier to go through. But anyway, I pay for comfort. I pay for ease. So, all right, people, we do this every week. I know. See, I signed up for them and I don't know anything about how they're coming in and telling people stop reframing. They just pop in. I think it's just automated, I guess. I don't know. All right. We do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Y'all, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. All right. And as always, people, I'm going to do my thumbnail for the Jason Baldoni, but I got to read these things first. So it'll probably be about 5 or 6 o'clock before I do another video in regards to that because I got to read these Ryan Reynolds text messages. All right, people. We do this every week. Please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye.